I daily grind every morning. I daily grind, daily grind. I daily grind. Oh, down and daily grind. Oh, welcome to the daily grind. Oh, God, I'm sorry. If you weren't awake, you are now. Welcome to the daily grind and happy Tuesday, Wayno. Good morning to you, sir. I know you're watching. You said Australian music. I went with Toto, and it sounded awful. But happy Tuesday, everybody. I got Rusty with me. It's Tuesday. We're back to our schedule. How are you, brother? You good?
I'm good, man. Happy Taco Tuesday. I've been wrestling with my AirPods for the last 10 minutes, but we got them locked in and ready to go.
Yeah.
I was ready. They weren't, but we back on track for this jam-packed episode.
Yeah, dude. Man, I finally just went with an aux cord because I was getting so tired of dealing with my Bluetooth headphones because they would just be like playing randomly, and I can only handle that so much.
That's fair. I've always had trouble with electronics, and these AirPods are no different. Usually, this is my second pair. The first one crapped out. Like, I'm notorious for not keeping the first electronics that I buy. It's always the second one because the first one will have some like rare African virus or Antarctic encryption that it just doesn't work.
And then Apple's like, yep, never again.
Yeah,
sorry, we're never going to pair with that again. Everybody else joining us, King Meeks, everybody, thank you for hanging out with us. It's early. We appreciate y'all. We're just going to jump right into it. There's little to no actual NBA news happening right now. Ja turned 25. I think that's the biggest Grizzlies news, other than the not Grizzlies news that was us not getting a Christmas Day game, which, to be honest, I wasn't expecting one this year. I just wasn't after a 20-win season. They don't give them to you.
I agree. As much as I wanted to see that happen, I think if we'd have had like another good year last year, we probably would have got one. But stay tuned for the 25-26 season.
Yes,
I think we'll have one.
No doubt. For those of you who aren't aware, and this is interesting. Here's what the Christmas Day schedule is looking like Spurs at Knicks, Timberwolves at Mavericks, 76ers at Celtics, Lakers at Warriors, Nuggets at Suns. Did any of those particularly surprise you?
Yeah. I mean, I guess maybe it shouldn't, but at the same time, like the Lakers-Warriors game was a little bit of a surprise. I mean, you got two teams. I mean, it's LeBron and Steph, especially after the performance they put on in the Olympics, but it just feels like they kind of brought up some of the old guard. The Suns being there, I was questioning a little bit because I don't know how good they're truly going to be. Again, it's clear that they were trying to pick some of the best teams with the Sixers and the Celtics being there. Young talent in Wemby is going to be there.
I would say this is that's the one that got me.
They were going for young talent, and Wemby is one of the best players in the world, most exciting players in the world, so that's why they're there. But I mean, all in all, I think it's going to be a decent slate of games for Christmas Day for sure.
No doubt. Like, that's the thing. The one thing that I did notice is all the games look good. Like all the games look like they're going to be good games. The only one that truly I was like, oh, spotlight. The Wemby spotlight seemed. The Wemby fever is clearly real because, I just said they're not going to put a 20-win team on Christmas Day, and they did.
And then they did.
They did against which who knows? I mean, the Knicks. That was the one game where I'm like, oh, so you wanted. The other ones might be based on name, talent, rivalry. This one is just like, oh, you've got to clearly have the Nova stars that people want to watch, and then you have Wemby that people want to watch. So you're making them going to play on Christmas.
Yeah, and you got the reigning MVP. CBSSports.com says you got the reigning MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved Player, and Rookie of the Year all playing on Christmas Day. So yes, there's some of the talent from last year is coming up. Again, the Wemby fever is at an all-time high. I think it's interesting that they paired them with the Knicks. Like, I'd almost rather have seen the Knicks and the Heat or the Knicks and the Magic, like a couple of like good basketball teams that are going to be playing well into May. The Spurs just aren't there yet.
Man, both of those are good calls. I would, not that I don't want to watch this, I would prefer to watch the Heat or the games that should actually go like play your 10. You're going to have to play 7 best guy. As we'll find out later when we do our expansion draft. Well, let's go ahead and transition into that. We're going to do an expansion draft now. The Spurs are one of the teams that aren't super deep. It's like, so fast forward to 2028, actually rewind. I don't know. we're having a draft now. Let's say LeBron retires and goes and buys a Vegas team, and he can't figure out a name because the Las Vegas Aces is a great name and he doesn't want to steal that. So he says the Spades. I don't know. It's either that, can't do the Kings because that already exists. Let's pays the Kings to get their name.
Right.
Kings go by the Beams. So we have the Seattle Supersonics and Kings. We are going to draft their expansion teams. We're going to do this together. We're not going to take forever and go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, because that would take forever. And there's not a lot of depth after you. We should be able to field solid starting lineups and a 6-man. That's the goal.
Yeah,
we're going to draft 5 starters and a 6-man for these 2 expansion teams. We've got list of who's available. And the purpose of this exercise is just to demonstrate how deep the league is. You know, like, and also Vegas Emperors. That's good. This is also going to illustrate how good the Grizzlies are specifically, I think.
Yeah.
Because as I was going through each of the team and narrowing down like who I would want, who I wouldn't want on each team, other than I almost didn't take a single name off the Memphis list. They've to top to bottom, this roster is good. And there's other teams like that, but you know, the purpose of this exercise is just to show how deep the league is. So who would go for, let's say LeBron has paid off. Well, actually, are both these teams going to stay in the East? I guess that's a conversation for another day.
I think they're both going to be West teams.
I agree.
I think that's kind of the obvious move there if you're going to pick those 2 sites. And then it's going to end up one team is going to move to the Eastern Conference to kind of help balance it out, right? And so the obvious choices are going to be between Minnesota and Memphis. Is the conversation for another day, but
maybe New Orleans.
But I think like Minnesota has got the furthest to travel for their division opponents and for Western Conference games. So they will likely be it, even though, you know, it wouldn't be bad to see Memphis in the Eastern Conference where we might actually, you know, dominate.
I guess Minnesota can go down and hit the like Chicago, Indiana,
Detroit, Milwaukee. Like they're right in the thick of all of them.
I guess that's true. Okay. So let's say we're drafting both these teams. So we want to draft starting 5s. Let's say LeBron has paid off the league, so he's going to draft first. If you're LeBron James, who are you drafting first in this draft?
So question. Yes. Is it who do we think will field the best team, or who do we think LeBron James is going to draft?
Good question. Let's field the best team, because the way I asked it wasn't it's Bronny. Bronny's going first overall. Yeah. And let's also think like we're drafting the best team, but we also want to draft a team that is going to draw some crowd.
Yeah, we want to pull like the NHL and be competitive now, right? Like the Knots and the Kraken both were competitive and played in the Stanley Cup within the first 5 years. So yes, I agree. Like Bronny's off the table. If you're asking me, my first overall pick from these lists is somebody that I wanted for a long time for Memphis, and that's Wendell Carter Jr. I think he's a great pick off of Orlando. I think he could be a great guy you could build around, a big athletic big. I don't know if I was supposed to go first, but that would be my first overall pick.
Well, no, like he was, as I was going through the list, I was like, we didn't protect Wendell Carter. I was just like, holy cow, no, we didn't. That's like 100%. That was who I like. That's if I'm doing an expansion draft, that's who I would do first. So let's say the Kings draft him first.
Yeah, that's a great first overall pick.
Now I might have so this is Seattle. Right. I might have a caveat that I might cheat a little bit. Can I get a player? Can I get a time machine and go back and get a guy from a few years ago? I just think, let's say out of everybody on this list, it's the Ben Simmons from when he liked to play basketball.
Oh, Ben Simmons.
I'm just saying, I'm thinking like you need a name. You need someone that will sell tickets. When Ben Simmons, he was making all defensive team, man, like 5 before he got broken in Philadelphia. Let's just take that version. I don't want him. I'm just saying, like, people will go buy tickets to the Seattle Supersonics just to watch Ben Simmons miss field goals.
I mean, 100%. Throw up bricks. I mean, he's a name. He's a draw. It's always that can he make that turn? Like, this is the year, right? This is like, it's like Tennessee Vol football. It feels like 98. Like, this is our year that he's going to put it all together. So, I mean, I could absolutely see somebody, putting a flyer on Ben Simmons, 100%.
Nobody else agrees. But let's just say. So, okay. So now those are what do we want to do? What position does Ben Simmons play?
He's like a forward, I guess.
Forward. Okay. So for the other team, we got their center.
Mm-hmm.
Who you thinking now? Like, there's some.
Yeah.
Do we want to do young guys? Do we want to do?
I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
You talking about the Grizzlies? What he's shown me over Summer League, I might go get a shooting forward in Jake LaRavia. He may not sell a ton of seats, but he's coming into his own. He's a young player that, if healthy, has shown kind of some flashes. That's probably a reach early, but I mean, I don't see any problem with taking LaRavia to come play small forward for me.
No, man. And you know what? I'm going to stay in the Grizzlies. I'm going to take Santi. I think Santi has, let's do that. There's our forwards. We got Ben Simmons and we got Santi covered for the Sonics.
Yep. I think for my next, I'm going to go guard from Dallas. Going to go young.
Yep. I was like, Dallas has some young guards that we could potentially look here.
Quentin Grimes, maybe. I think Grimes could be a good 1-2 guard for this Las Vegas team, the Las Vegas Royal Flush or Kings or whatever.
The Royal Flush. That's good.
I'm going Quentin Grimes. I think that's a solid pick.
I like it. Okay, let's do. I need a big too for these guys, but we also need. Let's do. Oh, do we do it? I think I'm going to do it.
Do it.
Yeah, let's get James Wiseman as the center over here.
He was one I was considering as a sixth man. Why not, man?
That's what King Meek said. Just get any Detroit player.
Absolutely.
Any of them. Okay, so we got our big.
Mm-hmm. So I've got a guard, forward, and a center. Which Wendell Carter Jr. can play power forward too. He can play 4. So I'm going to go big one more time because there's a couple good ones left here, and I'm going to go Daniel Theus from New Orleans. I think he could be a great 5th player and lane defender alongside Wendell Carter Jr.
Love it. Okay. Let's see. Who do I? So we got. I need a big, don't I? Bigs. Oh man, do I want someone that likes to play or someone who doesn't like to play? Let's do Bol.
Yeah, that's a good one. Just for size.
Wait, no, I just took James Wiseman. I'm silly. Okay. I don't want to take Bol. That's silly. I don't need two tall and skinny dudes. That's silly.
Who may or may not can play.
So I got Wiseman, I got Santi, I got Ben Simmons. I'll take Alexander Walker as my two. He plays 2 guard, right? Is he the backup 2 guard?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I got a lot of young players on this team. I probably need some a savvy vet to kind of lead this team. He's in the twilight of his career, but give me the other Curry. I'm gonna take Seth Curry. Yeah, man. Charlotte. Yeah. I think he's a good locker room presence for this team.
I'm with you, man. I saw him too. I was like, you know what? It's weird to me that he's still doing it. So I'm going to go, I want to vet as the point guard for this team, just to have someone that can run the offense. I'm going to say, Corey Joseph.
Yeah, I like that.
He's just, he doesn't, he's like a Tyus Jones, like a poor man's Tyus Jones.
Yeah, I can get behind that. All right, so I'm going to get my 6-man. Wayno's right. Listen, man, we're not trying to draft a championship team, but you never know who we're going to be tanking for. But this Vegas team is absolutely going to pick first overall pick. But, hey, it is what it is, man. We got some old hats. We got some young players. All right, so do I go I think I'm going to go with one more vet, defensive kind of guy, lead this team for my 6-man. I've always liked him, Tim Hardaway Jr. I think that's a good pick off Detroit. I think he could be that savvy locker room vet. Give me Tim Hardaway Jr.
Man, I'll tell you what, the Detroit was one of those teams where it's like, man, they got there's some guys, there's some dudes.
Yeah. I mean, there's just I mean, they got some young players. There's a couple names on the Heat I'm not going to say because I don't steal your thunder that I was strongly considering taking. But yeah.
Yep. There's like 2 guys left on the Heat. And so, okay, man. Okay, 6 man. I'm going to take ex-Grizzly, not the one you're thinking. Sam Merrill, baby. Give me Sam Merrill. Give me Sam Merrill. Raining threes off the bench, baby. Off the bench. He was getting playoff minutes for the Cavs. I'm a Sam Merrill stan. Yeah. Give me Sam Merrill, baby.
I mean, honestly, I don't hate that. Like, it's funny. Like, I hadn't thought about the name in a hot minute and almost forgot he was a Grizz. But yeah.
If anybody has a Memphis Hustles jersey that's a Sam Merrill jersey, send it my way. I love that dude. I love him.
Absolutely. That's a good 6 man because, like you said, you get you that three off the bench.
He can handle the ball. He can handle the ball a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, either one of these teams are going to struggle. A name that kind of got left off: Cameron Payne. Everybody needs that "Oh my mama" foul. Like, "Oh my mama, I didn't do that." That's what he's famous for. Former Memphis Tiger, Precious Ashua. Like, there's some decent names still.
Duncan Robinson, Alec Burks. Like, there's
Eric
some
Gordon, Evan Fournier. Like, there were several that we didn't get.
There, we could easily, if we wanted to, we could protect 8 guys on both these teams and fill out better squads. This is just our starting 6. Yeah. If we did, let's say we need a coach who I don't know. We didn't talk about this. Who would we? I don't even know how you do. Let's say it has to be a coach in the NBA. I almost said NFL. No, that'll be fun. Pick an NFL coach to coach a basketball team. Don't do that. Well,
I could do that right now.
I would pick Mike Tomlin. That dude just seems to know. He would just stick his foot on the sideline if you didn't.
I'm going Kyle Shanahan from San Francisco.
Oh yeah, good
creative, call. Upbeat offense, offensive league, offensive coach.
Good call. If I had to pick a basketball guy, I would probably pick Phil Handy. I'd pick the Phil Handy. Yeah, we used to beat the Lakers. No, take that back. I would take the shooting coach that Detroit has now. The guy that they took from New Orleans who helped all those guys develop. I can't remember his name. Whatever his name is.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I'll look it up while you pick yours.
There's a lot of choices here. I might call me a homer.
No, do it.
I don't know. Are we talking can we poach a sitting coach or does it have to be an assistant?
No, poach anybody. Pick anybody.
I like Darko in Toronto, man. I think that Darko is going to be one of the next great coaches in the NBA. He was obviously really good under TJ in Memphis. And so give me Darko from Toronto, man.
Fred Vinson. That was his name.
Fred Vinson. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, speaking of homers, the guy that, I'm awful with names today. Whoever coached the Memphis Hustle that coached the summer league team.
Jason Marsh.
Thank you, God.
Yes,
I would also take him. Like, if we want to stay in house, like, he's also good. I would take him or Fred Vinson.
Let's do good. Yeah. I think guys like Chauncey Billups, Sam Cassell, guys are going to get a shot. Like, maybe you take a flyer on one of those former players. Like, I think either one of them could be a good coach. Sam Cassell is shout out Wayno, beat me to it. I think that's a good call. Yep.
So we'll post. So gotta see if I can remember this. I had the Seattle Supersonics. That's the board that's playing. Featuring as your starting lineup: Ben Simmons. Oh God, it already sounds terrible. James Wiseman. Jesus. Santi Aldama. Okay, we're getting a little bit more juice. Nikolai. God, no, that's the guy from Game of Thrones. Yeah. That's the guy from I was about to say Nikolai Coster-Waldau.
You got Alexander Walker and Corey Joseph.
Corey Joseph, and Sam the Man Merrill. And your coach, Fred Vinson. Who do you guess?
Woof. The Las Vegas Royal Flush, Full House.
Flush. The Full House is good.
Vegas
it's a TV show.
Yeah, we'll go stay with Royal Flush. That sounds great because if it's bad, you can just flush it anyway. So here we go. The Las Vegas Royal Flush. Wendell Carter Jr. starting at power forward. We got Jake LaRavia at small forward. Quentin Grimes, the 2 guard. Daniel Theus at center. Seth Curry as your starting point guard with Tim Hardaway Jr. coming off the bench at either 2 or 3.
Your team is so much better than mine.
It's still bad, though.
My team is no one has proven diddly squat on my team. It's just
It's a bunch of projects and what could, because like if that team hits, if we get LSU Ben Simmons and we get like James Wiseman from his senior year in high school, good night. That team would be dominant.
And you just wait, man. Sam Merrill's going to win Sixth Man of the Year.
And Summer Santi. You got to have Summer Santi.
Summer Santi, Sam the Man. Man, I'm just saying. We are looking at two teams that would look very good with the number one. We wouldn't intentionally fail for flag, but it might happen.
But yeah, it might happen.
It might happen unintentionally.
On accident.
On accident.
Listen,
right.
we might get to the NBA lottery and Adam Silver gonna walk out on stage and be like, Las Vegas, you have a 98% chance at the first overall pick.
Good luck. Good luck, guys.
Good luck.
We'll put these results up on the X, the Twitter, and I want to hear what you guys think. I know what I think, but we're gonna see what you guys think. But we're gonna take a quick break. And when we get back, we're going to tube because I want to hear where your Game of Thrones updates at. I'm so excited.
Wow.
It's becoming my favorite part of the week. It's just hearing, yeah, and you're getting close. Right after this break.
One of the questions as far as my writings for the Wizards was, what's going to happen with Tyus Jones? And I kind of was able to narrow it down. He had three teams that he was primarily looking at, and that were the Memphis Grizzlies, the Phoenix Suns, and the Atlanta Hawks. From my understanding, Memphis they offered him more money. Memphis offer was somewhere around $5 to $6 million, but they wouldn't have given him an opportunity to start. And I believe that was something that was really important for him.
I'm not saying that what you're saying isn't true, but I don't think the Grizzlies actually made a serious run at Tyus Jones. And at that number, I don't even consider that serious. You know what I mean?
A lot of people in Memphis didn't really want to believe that the Grizzlies were interested in Tyus Jones. And I think from what I saw on the internet, a lot of that has to do with you guys' expectation of what Scottie Pippen Jr. is going to be. The Memphis Grizzlies very much like Scottie Pippen Jr., but I'm also here to tell you they went out and tried to get a backup point guard.
Tune in to The Anthony Sane Show, Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Representing your country and winning, I think I'd black out on the podium. Because when I watch these people whose names I won't remember a week from now, and they're on the podium and they have tears and I start crying because I'm like, what a moment for this person. I'm getting a little nervous talking about it right now, BK.
I would shed 3 tears.
Oh.
I wouldn't be nose running crying. Not that crying. You know, there's levels to this crying game. There's
shoulder shaking.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Even when the tears stop, you still like, that's when you used to get in trouble though. Your parents used to give you, that's when you used to get beaten.
You stop.
Yes, you better stop crying.
Exactly.
Put that bottom lip.
I'm not crying.
Right, yeah. I would definitely be up there. I would cry.
Tune in to the Night Court Podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I felt like a news anchor for a second. Welcome, and we're back. It's okay. You catch that show, Night Court. You can catch the Anthony Sane Show. You can catch No Bluffin', I believe, dropped this morning or yesterday. You can catch the $2 Sports Show. Will be Friday at 3. Grizz 901's about to come out. Got a whole bunch of shows. BluffCityMedia.co. Jess Benson Show is going to be starting in about 3 minutes over at Grind City Media. Check that out. Whole lot of stuff going on. If you like Memphis, if you like the Grizzlies, just check it out. But back to our show. Also, really quick, I want to give Wayno a shout out. He says he knows a good after my Seattle Supersonics lineup, nothing sounds more apt than to have that girl just like
ray gun. Where you at?
That's all we need. That's all we need. But on our show every Tuesday, we like to tube. Tube, and I'm talking about TVs. Not like tubes, television, because everyone has one, and we tube on Tuesdays. We talk about what we're watching. I can go first because we know what Rusty's watching. It's our favorite time of the week. I'm watching rewatching. I haven't watched it since it came out. I'm giving The Punisher another rewatch because I love John Barenthal, the actor that plays the Punisher, and I just think the Punisher's a really awesome character. It's just having like Captain America, but with no morals is just really interesting to me. And it's like,
it's almost like it's like Captain America meets Venom. It's a good, good combination.
Yes. And that dude is just I mean, Special Forces, a Marine Corps guy that it's just so real, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it. It's real without being fantastical, and it's good. But what are you watching? Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Man, so over the weekend, I watched Deadpool 3. Shout out King Meeks. He said he finally watched it and loved it. I watched it for a second time. It's just as funny the second time, and will be the third time. It's incredible. Great movie. Go watch it if you hadn't seen it. Game of Thrones, man, a lot has happened in Westeros. Like, it's funny, I've got a lot of friends and coworkers that are in the same shoes as you and Wayno here, like living this show. So the episode that just finished, Arya Stark gets stabbed in the stomach and is wandering through the streets of Bravos, just holding her guts in, like trying to find somebody to help her, and nobody is. So I don't know what's going to happen with her. Sansa is coming into her own, dude. She talked that queen into giving her those soldiers, and then she gave them 62 soldiers to fight alongside the wildlings.
Oh yeah, the little
lady. And then she went toe to toe with that big oof at the other family, who is a sense aligned with the Boltons. But Sansa is really coming into her own. Let's see. Queen Marjorie has been released from prison. The Walk of Atonement has been foregone. They're not doing that, thanks to the Lannister army, who is now about to fight the Tullys to reclaim their ancestral home back. But Queen Marjorie is apparently a fanatic now for the High Sparrow, although she snuck a drawing to Lady Tyrell of a rose that leads me to think maybe she's just playing an act. So I'm excited to see what unfolds there. Dany, haven't heard from Dany in a while, but last we saw Dany, she was released from the house of the Khaleesi, and she has got a Dothraki horde following her now after she burned all them cows to the ground in one of the most epic scenes in television history, lighting pools on fire and just like tipping over baskets and just standing there like a bad you-know-what. And then escaping, and then Jorah shows her the grayscale. And she tells him, do not come back until you found a cure, and you come back cured and serve me. So some redemption for Jorah. And then the combination that I didn't know that I needed, but I'm glad I have, is Tyrion and Varys. Like, those two dudes, running Marine. Like, Tyrion made kind of a weird deal with the slave masters. It upset some of the people, but it also makes sense. You don't want to piss off the masters to where they'll revolt again and send the Sons of the Harpy. But a lot is happening in Westeros. The biggest thing, Arya Stark being stabbed, and then it looks like the Bolton Stark battle is coming very soon.
You are on the precipice of, like, I'm tiptoeing around what I can say, because you are so close to so many things, just like dominoes being like, so.
I mean, Maggie's doing a really good job. Shout out Maggie. She gets a lot of praise on the podcast, but and rightfully so. She's doing a really good job of keeping poker face. I she doesn't tell me anything. Drew's the same way, but it feels like the cauldron is bubbling and it's about to just boil over with all this just tension and drama. It's about to go down. That's for sure.
I'm not as good as them with my poker face, so we won't talk about it that long. My face is already just like.
And it's funny, because Big Brother's always listening, and I can't get on Twitter or Instagram and there not be some reel or picture of a dragon or Game of Thrones, and I'm like, no. I'm like Uncle Buck with Deadpool 3. I'm not looking. I don't want to know. I don't want it spoiled. Oh! One of the biggest things, Gregor Clegane is back, and his whole little peaceful village has been wiped out. My boy's fixing to go on a Wolverine-esque vengeance tour. Holy smokes, because they hung his buddy, they killed all those people, and then the last scene is him ripping that axe out of that stump. He is fixing to go nuclear. And shout out Wayno. Maggie is MVP.
Maggie's always MVP. I love the Hound, and then he just becomes better. He becomes better. I didn't want to say anything when we were at the end of season 4, because I was like, you just wait. He comes back, and it's so good. It's so good.
I told Maggie, I knew he was going to come back, because they didn't show him dead.
Yep.
And anytime a TV show doesn't show him dead, I knew he was going to come back. And I already, like, even though he's a bad guy, I started liking him more and more. And I really like him now. And I want him to go just lay waste to whoever it was that killed off his little peaceful community buddies.
I can't wait. If you watch any before next,
I will. Yeah.
Let us know. Let us know before next Tuesday.
I will.
Thank you for tuning in with us, y'all. That's gonna do it for it today. It does. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna throw this up here.
How? It's been
better.
So good.
It gets better. Also gonna throw this up here. Shout out King Meeks. Kite Man is hilarious, and Vikings is also good. We got a whole bunch. This is what we like here. We like getting TV recommendations. We want to hear. We want to know what you're watching. Let us know. Also have a good rest of your Tuesday. I will be back tomorrow. I might have Uncle Buck with me. I might have Rusty. We'll see. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day. Have good days at work. If you're just going into work, if you're not, have a good day off. Get some sleep over there, Wayno, down under. I still got it. We'll see y'all tomorrow. If I can leave you with 2 things today, remember just to be a little bit weird and remember to smile. Have a good day, everybody.